Hi guys, it's Sandra here from Creating Spain, and today I am doing a first. I'm actually going to do a couple, hopefully, of resin pours. Now I have some resin which I have been given as a sample from a resin for decor. Okay, so there's 50 grams of part B, 100 grams of part A. Mix the two together for 4 minutes. Colour as you wish and then pour, and these take about 24 hours to set up. So I've got those. I have various cups. I've got a largish cup to do the first mixing in, and I have some very small ones for putting the colours in. I am going to try using a couple of acrylic inks that I have to do the black and the white, because I know these are pretty concentrated. I don't think I'll have to add very much to make the colour. And I have a couple of food colourings here, which again I know are very concentrated, and like 1 drop of this will colour what I need it to do. I've got some ceramic white tiles here, which is what I intend to do my pour on. But if I've got any left over, I've got some old silicone muffin moulds and some wax paper, and I'll try pouring the remnants in here and see whether it sets up for a coaster. And I have some silver glitter just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to come out, but we're about to get started. Now the idea of these resins is they're not supposed to be stinky, unlike one resin which I tried to buy and it was so smelly. No odour, none in that. Oh, this is good. Right, so this is part A. No smell whatsoever. Oh, this makes this so much better. Now it says to mix this together for 4 minutes, so I've got a timer. And so I will mix. And when you're mixing this, you're supposed to scrape the sides and scrape the bottom of the cup. Yay, the 4 minutes is up. So now I have my completely clear, colourless resin, and I want to tint it. So I have to pour it into some smaller containers. I'm using very, very little colouring because they are concentrated. And the pink, 1, 2. You can always add more, you can't take it away. Sometimes it's quite nice to leave the colours slightly unmixed so they're a little marbled. That's quite pale, so I think I will add 1, 2. Another couple of drops just to, I think I'm going to put the glitter in the blue. And in the black. And the other thing I'm going to do is put in a drop of alcohol. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I have no idea what's going to happen when I pour this, I really don't. Should be interesting. Okay, so I've got my clear. I'm going to have a little white in there, a little blue, a little pink, a little black. So here are my two tiles that I've put the resin on. I did give them a little bit of a blast with my heat gun. So I'm just going to leave them be for 24 hours and see what they look like then, and I'll come back and show you. Now here are the two tiles that I put my resin on, and as you can see they are extremely glossy. They are glass-like. They are completely smooth even though I put the glitter in the mix. The glitter weighs enough that it goes down directly onto the surface once it's poured, and they are absolutely gorgeous. You probably can't pick up the colours on camera. Now I checked with the manufacturers and you can use permanent marker on these when they are cured, and you'll be able to clean it off with alcohol, which is one of the things that I thought would be a good idea. You could, of course, do something in a design on something perhaps larger and use it as a rather attractive notice board, a reminder for your shopping list or your calendar or whatever. And you won't do it any harm by using the permanent marker on it because you can wipe it off afterwards, but it looks a lot more attractive than a plain whiteboard does. So that's one possible use. The other possible use for them is as coasters or placemats, and also things like this where you put a sentiment on and use it as wall art, but you'll just have this really, really brilliant gloss on it. Now I'm showing you this one as a comparison. This is glossy, yes. It has had a couple of coats of triple thick, which is made by Deco Art, but it is nowhere near as glossy and as professional looking as this is. And of the two, I would prefer this. As I said, this has had two coats, and this cost me about €8. And if I didn't have Amazon Prime, I would have to pay postage on it as well. And I've got 236ml, and I'd have to do 2 or 3 or possibly 4 coats to get it as thick a gloss as this would be. So how much does this Deco Art stuff cost? Now I said at the beginning, quite open about it, I asked them for a sample and I got given one. There was a piece of information that said, you know, they will send out free samples sometimes on request, and I requested them, so I got one. But the pricing of it is very good in comparison to the triple thick, and this did surprise me. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can perhaps see this. Okay, it's called Resin for Decor with the number 4 in the name. The normal price is €15.12 for just over a litre. Yeah, twice the amount that it would cost for that small jar of the triple thick, but 4 times the quantity. And that is their normal price. At the moment, it is on offer. It's got 40% off, more or less, and it's €9.07. And they will post free of charge to most places in Europe. Now, there is a Resin for Decor stateside as well. So, you know, if you're in the States or elsewhere, have a look on the website and see what applies to you. But that makes it actually cheaper than using the triple thick. Now, the snag is that this has to dry for, depending on the variety that you buy, between 12 and 24 hours in a dust-free environment. So you do want to tent it and make sure that you're not going to get any dust on it, whereas the triple thick will dry and harden a bit quicker than that. But the finish is just absolutely brilliant, literally. It's just a really, really good gloss finish. And this is cheaper than that. So for my money, it would be a no-brainer. If I wanted to do more of this, I would be buying the resin, I believe. And as I said previously in the video, it does not smell at all. So yes, it's a big win for me. I wasn't paid to say that. They didn't do anything other than supply me with a sample. They didn't tell me what I could or couldn't say. I just think it's a really good product. It does actually dry to a flexible finish. You can't tell it on the tile, but if you take a remnant off of the baking paper that I was using underneath my work, it will peel straight off, and it was thick, but it was still flexible. So there we are, that's what I think of it, and if you're interested in doing any resin covers for your artwork, then this seems like a really good option at the moment. Take care now, bye bye.